And good morning. So, before I really get introductions, make sure everybody can still hear me because I probably should have done a practice show before this, but let me know if everybody can hear me okay, and then we will begin. So, I'll wait a second. So, good morning, Carrie. Good morning, Margaret. Good morning, Tom. So, somebody give me a thumbs up that you can hear me. So, that way I can keep going. Good morning, Nikki. Good morning, Dad. Good morning, Jen. Cool. All right. Well, so awesome. Thanks, Carrie. So yeah, welcome, welcome back to Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. It is unbelievably long overdue. I wanted to come up with some like crazy speech of saying hi, hey Carmen, hey Michelle, hey Jill. I wanted to really have this elaborate like monologue kind of thing, and I was like, no, I kind of know the highlights of things, and I, I just wanted to sit here and just kind of ramble. But that's a good note. What I do a lot anyway. I try to just keep the conversations moving and talking. So um, why am I hiding with the trees? No, this is all false stuff. So I mean, I was gonna see, that's the thing, is one of the topics was obviously, we're gonna get into everything that and stuff, but yeah, I was gonna put a Halloween background up because obviously, in a couple days is Halloween, so I was gonna put something spooky up, and I thought, well, that might not really go so well. But I mean, I did wear, kind of a cool, jack-o'-lantern kind of shirt, so at least I've got the Halloween vibe. Plus, I just got this 2 days ago, and I thought this would be fun, to bring onto the show sometimes. But my little, I shouldn't say it's little, but it is pretty hefty. But it's nice, cool skull coffee mug. So I do like it. So, and I am hitting my pumpkin spice coffee this morning, so I'm enjoying it very much. Hey, Kate. So if I miss anybody, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to watch the background. So, um, but yeah, let's see where we got. Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah, Dad. Perry. I'm going to talk about Parafest in a little bit, but you can still get tickets. oldmillparafest.com. We're literally a week away from Old Mill Parafest, but I'll get to that in a little while. But other than that, yeah, I wanted to before we get into anything else. Just curious in the chat, if everybody had a chance to see my video, my teaser videos is what I call it. Hey, Jeff, good morning. Um, I just was curious because what I'll do if anybody hasn't seen it, I was wanting to play that for everybody again, and that would be that easy segue into that whole side of things. But yeah, I wanted to see if everybody was wanting to. Uh, if everybody saw it, and if you want to see it again, I mean, it's only 95 seconds. So, hey, Jen, good morning. So, what's 95 seconds, right? You need to keep your attendance to the Paris clean. Well, that's true. That's true. I mean, it is year 10. So, I mean, thanks, Kate. Yeah. But like I said, yeah, I mean, I wanted to. And so, I mean, granted, I mean, I'm in control here. I got all the buttons to push. So, you guys are just going to have to sit through it and deal with me, right? So at least I can get back right where I left off, right? Even though when I left off, it wasn't exactly as it wasn't the greatest way to pause and then continue to pause and stuff like that. Margaret saying, I found that if I come to the video through the Facebook page, I can see the conversation, but if I don't, can't. Yes, I saw the videos and worried. Yeah, so why don't I do that real quickly? I haven't played a video with audio in a long time, so hopefully the audio comes through. Now it might be a little delayed, because it's been a while since I've done these. But like I said, I'm used to putting pictures up there, like my banner and stuff. But I haven't done a video in so long. So, but let's give it a shot. I'm kind of curious myself, and let me throw that up there. I gotta switch it over to this. All right, so I'm gonna mute my microphone while this plays, and hopefully it does play, and you guys can hear it. So this was my teaser. Okay. I can't watch that video. As many times as I've seen it in creating that video, uh, it's still gets me, which is probably a good thing, but, um, I guess when you oh, there was no audio? Well, it was just the orchestra stuff. Okay, well, see, maybe there was a button I had to hit because, like I said, I haven't done I haven't shot it or put a video through it before, but okay, I'll have to look into it. So, it's not like it was just orchestra stuff. So you guys can always go and find it again. But uh, yeah, it that I had when I started finally having consistency of the less and less anxiety and panic attacks, uh, because I guess, well, you know, I guess, well, I guess let's do this. Let's just back up. Let's just do that. And so, in the beginning of the year, I, had all these high expectations, and not that I was putting pressure on myself, but I, uh, you know, had couple cool things, events, that were small things that happened in the beginning, literally within the first month. And so, I was like, yes, this is it. I'm on a roll. I've got some, cool plans, a lot of things that were getting ready, and started getting through February, and I started noticing things were not going as great. Hey, Ron. And I, things started to get a little bit more rough, and it just slowly kept building. And I kept, hey, Rhonda, good morning. I kept trying to, take it easy. I was trying to, uh, and it just, it was just one thing after another. And now we'll get into it a little bit more too, but and it just kept getting worse. And as I got through, hey, Dinah, good morning. Once I got into March, I remember canceling an event, because I just was a wreck. I was getting to the point where most of my free time, even in March, I was starting to, just kind of like the video. I mean, that's why some of the video is accurate in a lot of ways, and some of it's, there's a lot of um, hidden message within the video that I created, and a lot of the scenes that you see, some of them are disturbing, but they weren't what was actually going on. It was just the thoughts of how stressful things were, and where your mind does go. But I was, a lot on the couch. I was, curled up, and the one thing that I knew I had to continue to do was keep going to work. And w- the work, even though it was a good distraction, and distractions are great when you're dealing with, anxiety and panic attacks, even though some things, and everybody's a little bit different, can trigger them more, and they do. But at the same time, there is uh so many different things that you can do that, it was just getting too much for me. And the things now, a lot of what I did talk about, and whether I did it in some of the videos, some of my YouTube videos and a post, I did actually mention a lot of what was going on. So I'm not sure if everybody caught those. I didn't like make them hidden. I was pretty upfront about what a lot of the issues were, and some are still there. And it was, you know, I mean, it happens to the best of people, so you just never know what it's going to do. Hey, Jim, how you doing? Good morning. And so, you know, uh, one of the big ones was that started taking me down. And like I said, I know I posted this and talked about it a few times, but money, was and is still a big serious issue. And uh, that's still tough to this point. You know, I, me, I don't talk about things that are going on in the world. We try to keep it, we try to keep the positive stuff on it, but, you know, things that are going on in the world have made it a little bit more difficult when it comes to money. And I'm sure you guys know this because I'm sure everybody, has seen differences in what things cost nowadays. And so I, you know, I, it was tougher because, you know, you work, you get paychecks, like a lot of us do. And when you look at what you have left and realize you don't really have much, And that really started beating me up a lot. And it was just because I knew at this point, you know, March starting to touch April, looking down the road, affording to pay for things was going to be very difficult. And I knew all these type of other shows that I wanted to be a part of, and it costs money to be a vendor, you know, and 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 I wasn't going to sit there and beg and plead that, at any event, beg to just let me in there and then I'll pay them whatever I got, in any of the sessions that I offered. Doesn't work that way, and I'm not that kind of person that's, gonna do that. I'm not gonna sit there and ask for something and then, what happens if I don't get it, and that's, other stress that I didn't want to put on myself either. So, um, it did. It really changed the course of, everything, and that's why, you haven't seen me from that part of it. And there's another huge part that I'm about to hit you guys with that probably will shock you, but not being able to afford to even go. Now, I did make it to one event in April, but the only reason I got to go to that event, which was the Midwest Pear Fest that was locally here in Toledo, the only reason I went to that was because I bought my tickets back in December. So I was okay back then, even with the holidays. But that was it. That was really the last event, that I attended because I was just a guest. And but after that, I knew I couldn't do anything else. So, I mean, it was unfortunate, it was so unfortunate that, it just how it is. And, eh, I just had to realize that there's reasons for it. And just from that money, excuse me, money aspect of it, and that's why. It's why that, it was just meaning I had to stay home a little bit more, save as best I could, which, it's not even that's not even easy to do. And so that's, one of those big, like I said, is and still is, was and is still a big deal. And, now I'm not hurting. So, I mean, that's the other thing I don't want to do is that, I'm not, you don't see me ask and for my situation, we can get by. The family, we're getting by. We're not, struggling in the aspect that we can't afford all the bills and things. They're fine. It's just the play money that I use to do other things. That's the biggest issue. And so I just didn't have the extra, because all the other extra, was just, for I got to fix this or I got to, get this or what, so it was just things that I could get by. So, and that's still the deal. And like I said, I've missed a lot of events and I've watched, everybody's post and, you know, uh, it was great seeing everybody have a good time. And it was, sad at the same time that I couldn't be there with everybody. And, you know, that takes a toll on you too, is when you see everybody else having fun and you're not, and then you realize, you're sitting there on the couch curled up, struggling, because you just can't afford to go. And you know that once you're around everybody, it'll lift your spirits up, so to speak. However, the perfect way to segue into is uh the last time, hey Darlene, Mama D. um the last public thing I did was for Memorial Day parade, and I was a chaperone for the marching band, and because my kids in the marching band, and so that was the last thing I did in public. And I don't know, this has never happened. It's one thing to be shy, which I was growing up. My dad can attest to that. Um, but I couldn't, after Memorial Day, the only thing I could do in public was, "Hey, Kathy." I could go to work, and because there was a distracting enough to where I could focus on the job and helping with issues, with, doing conference room support, which is what I do, and, you know, going to the gas station or something, and whatnot. But I literally out of nowhere, and I still don't understand how it happened, but I had social anxiety, and that's got to be stranger than strange, right? Here is somebody that likes being out, likes hanging out with everybody, likes going to events, loves doing the show, And the it was I just couldn't explain it. I ended up canceling family events because I just couldn't deal with the I couldn't even be around family, and it was tough. And um that hurt a lot because it was like, how can I sit there and go, "Hey, Cassie, how can I uh go from where I was to not be wanting to be around anybody," in the sense that because it freaked me out, and it was so I I mean, I still don't understand why it hit me like that, and it was terrible because, like I said, I canceled so many things. And one of those rare moments, um, was I think it Dad, you can remind me, I think it was in June. I think it was in June sometime, that my mom fell and, got hurt, really bad, hurt her knee. And, my brother like racing over to pick me up. We go over to the house and we get her up, off the ground. And, ended up having to, even then, like I was distracted enough, but at the same time, I was like, I'm surprised I didn't like just not, be able to go help. And it's weird because I want to help, obviously. And yeah, it was just weird because like I just kind of, and it's family too, it's your mom. Your mom fell. I mean, what are you gonna, so, you know, dealing with them. And then obviously, um, my mom was in the hospital for a few days as they were trying to figure out what was really going on and why there was so much swelling because she hurt her knee. And I didn't go to the hospital because I knew at any point she was going to get transferred. So I never went to the hospital. And then finally they took, sent her to a local rehab center. So then I was going there. And that was always one of those things. I was, going after work, and for lack of better words, I was scared, you know, going. And it wasn't because I didn't want to see my mom. It was the fact that I knew there was other people around, and it wasn't work related, but I was freaking out every time I went to the center to see her. What little can I interact with somebody with? That was kind of my whole thing. And it's like, that's just not me, but that's how it was. So, went several times. And was okay. I mean, I never freaked out when I was there, or never, getting there or leaving. I never freaked out or anything like that. So that was at least some good, signs. But again, that was like June, July at that point, because she was hospital for like close to a week, and then rehab for like 3 weeks or 2, 3 weeks, something like that. But yeah, it was pretty bad. And just like I said, it was just who deals with social anxiety, hey, Christine. Um, and so, but yeah, I mean, my mom's at least, at the point where she, she made it home. I mean, I can, add a little bit of positive side to it, but, uh, there is some light at the end of it. You know, she is home. She's been home now for a while now. And so she's, able to move. Yes, there's still some pain. There's still some suspicion on things of what was going on. And yeah, it took a while for them to finally realize what was going on. But it was weird because she's had both her knees replaced. And so they, it was hard seeing through a lot of the artificial stuff. That was what made it really hard without, slicing the knee up and going in and searching. But a lot of the plastic and metal hardware stuff, blocks a lot of the images. So they never could truly find it, and until they now realize what they think it is, like my dad said in the chat, MCL. But uh but yeah, so, but one of the things too, with even with me dealing with the social anxiety, but even while I was there, my mom knows, my mom knows a lot of the stuff that I do. So she's always been a big supporter. And she looked at me the one time because they're just, with all the rehab, she wasn't making any progress. And now you got to remember, I haven't done anything in months. Anything, I shut everything down, everything was paused. I wasn't doing nothing. I wasn't connecting. I mean, still giving my, gratitude to all my guides and all the people behind me. But I, um, she, she asked me, she's like, "Hey, can you help me? Can you do some of your healing?" Because we're not making any progress, and things aren't, progressing, and I don't want to be in this place anymore. Um, she goes, "I'd rather just go home and work on my knee," because she knows what exercise she's got to do. So, um, So I said, "Sure." So, I mean, so I gave her, and it was weird too because it's like, you just jump in on the spot. I'm gonna, do this thing. So, um, I gave her a quick one for, a quick little session, and shockingly enough, I shouldn't say shockingly, but you know, it made a difference. She, I think it was the very next day she, was, because like rehab was like almost every day. They were measuring her because they're always seeing what, how far she's going, and she had some more movement, and she had a little bit less pain, and that's the whole thing with healing. It's not necessarily always going to have a home run shot when you help somebody. It's, can you make things a little bit easier? And that's how I always look at it. Can you just give them just a little bit more comfort? And so, and sure enough, and then I think a couple days later she was like wanting a more uh longer session, and so so yeah, I mean, I ended up giving her a longer one, and I want to say, I think it was at the end of a week, and I think next week was the final, like, she was getting a good enough numbers to where they felt like she could get home, go up a couple steps, and I believe it was towards the end of the following week. So, a week after I did, like I said, I think it was in the beginning of the week, I did a little one, and then a longer session, and then the following week she was home. So, which was great because, like I said, she just didn't want to be there, and it's not like, it was a horrible time other than, having to do all the therapy, but what do you expect? You're not, you got people coming in visit and things, but you're still, can be alone, and I get that. So, but but yeah, she she's made a lot of progress and things, and so that was kind of a cool moment even then, because I think that was like sometime in July, mid-July or something like that. So it was, some way, some when I do these pauses, which, sometimes I'll pause for like a few days or a week or something like that, and then hey, what's up, Dennis? And that's why it was kind of neat to be like, hey, I still got it, because sometimes you can be hard on yourself on what you do, and when you haven't done it in so long, it was one of those fun things to be like, yeah, I still can help out, even when it's family, so that was neat to do that, and you know, and I think it was even in July too. There was a point where I had like a full week where I was, doing okay, and I started getting excited about it. I'm like, okay, I haven't had issues, and then sure enough, just as I was about ready to, like, do a couple more things, and then I got hit and then was back down on the couch again. So, uh, it just, I knew I was definitely not ready, and I was hoping to try to get back, in August. I was wanting to get to the end of summer, and then, as we segue into fall, and, it was on my mind a little bit, because when you start to feel good for a change, it's like, yes, it's time to go, and ended up not working out. So I got knocked back down. But so yeah, it's like I said, the money issue. Oh, you too, buddy. The like I said, the money was huge. The social anxiety was one of those ones out of left field. And I got to, it can't say too that at times, work still has some stress that pops up, and it gets overwhelming, and but when doesn't it? Hey, Shannon. And cheers, skull, cilantro. Sorry, the only thing I don't like about this cup is that it's so rounded that you almost have to slurp it, so that way you're not having it run down the side. So if you hear me slurp, it's, not some ASMR kind of situation. That's what you want to hear me go, the whole time. So, but it's still a pretty cool mug though. But and then it's cooling off real quickly, so now it's down to like barely lukewarm. And Prost, yes, true. I forgot about that one too. Um, but yeah, and so a lot. I got my notes here too, because I wanted to make sure I hit a lot of stuff. Uh, you know, and uh, it was just wild to well, just make me want to take it right, Carrie. Yeah, you can't, Dennis. You really can't. And but and that's just one of those things. And think, luckily, like the work stuff wasn't like every day, every week. Sometimes it was just a bad day. Yesterday, I haven't had, a full bad day in a long time, and it was bad yesterday. I mean, Mondays and Mondays aren't usually Mondays and Fridays are usually quiet because there's a lot of things where now they want them working at least 3 days, depending on the department that you work in, and a lot of people end up just not showing up on Friday. They work their days in the beginning of the week, and then Fridays are somehow quiet. But yet I don't know what happened yesterday. I ended up having like 7 jobs. Only one of them was scheduled, which was what started my shift, and it was just crazy. And then covering, our help desk, I mean, all hell broke loose during that, and it was just like I mean, I felt like I got ran over by a truck, and so, it was terrible, coming home after work. I felt terrible. So, I mean, so, it's stuff like that. Um and like I said, and then, you know, again, everything just kept circling and over and over again. So, um, I got you, Margaret. Yeah, right, right. The bionic knee, exactly. Um, you know, I I just I it was crazy because like, you'd think you'd get past one thing and then it would hit you with another thing. And it was just like it got so frustrating. And that's like some of the teaser video, if you see it, like the anger pick is that it's just that frustration of, why does this keep, overloading me? I know how to get past this. I can do this. And it just was like, being, hit in the head with a bat, it just knocks you down. You know, and I can say, and that's the reason why, like, I can't watch that video too many times because, it just breaks me down. And, uh, because, when you go through that, the biggest thing was is just not letting go, not giving up. And that's something that, unless you've been through a lot, that the the aspect of seeing that goal, and like when I put that wording in there about seeing the, finding that light or seeing the light, uh it's maybe cliche to a lot of people, and you've heard a lot of people say it, uh it really is true. It's it's one of those things that you you know it was hard for me, and I'm stubborn when it comes to reaching out to people. I'm gonna deal with a lot, and I have issues with asking for it because I figure I can help so many people. Why can't I help myself? And that's how I would try to process it. It was just like, I love helping people. So what's wrong with me? Why can't I do this, for myself? And you just realize it's just a never ending battle with yourself at that point. And so you, you don't succeed. You don't win. And there was times, uh, talked about getting tested over one way, it truly passes something. Yeah. It's hard to cope when you don't know the solution, but it can, yeah, and it's just, man, it was unbelievable. Uh, you know, and that's the thing is what I was just thinking, because I was trying to remember where I was going. The social anxiety aspect. There was even a couple times, it's just, I think it was in June, that I was gonna talk to a couple people on the phone, and I just lost it. I couldn't. The day, like, I was like, yeah, let's have a conversation, let's just talk. I couldn't do it. And I canceled a couple phone calls, and I just never set anything else. I wouldn't, and I wouldn't even bring it up. Like, even if I wanted to, I just couldn't. I couldn't get to the point of picking up my phone. However, I still did my best to post when I could, because that always made me feel good. That was definitely a helper. You guys seen so many of my photos. A lot. Obviously, there's a lot more sky pictures, but I always looked at those and still look at those as a way of looking up. We always look down, and so that's one of those like little hidden things that you guys should know about me, is that you may see a lot more sky pictures, but for me, that's just trying to show you that we need to look up more. And that's not just with your own physical eyes, look through it internally. And so that's why you'll always see a lot more sky pictures. Because to me, looking up, gives you that you're climbing up, you're going up the stairs, like I put in the video and showed. And so that is one of those reasons you'll see those photos from me, because that I like the video, some of my, pictures, some of my posts, I do put things in there to make you guys think. And I've always talked about that before, but always realized there's reasons behind a lot of the stuff I do. And if there isn't something, I actually do pretty clearly explain it then. But once in a while, I leave them kind of hanging on purpose for like those, like the photos and things. And you'll once in a while see me saying, "Yeah, I caught these looking up." I'll say that. Or I saw this cloud color and stuff like that. And it's just always those references that I leave in there so you guys can pick up on it. I know some do, some don't, and that's okay if you don't. But that's at the same time, I'm not going to call out this person, but they are in the chat watching. But I was just talking to them before the show a little bit, and I said the same thing. It's one of those things that we have to slow down. We have to slow down. And when you slow down, you start to see things better. And for like me, a lot of the times when I'm home, whether it's in the evening or on the weekend, and I'm sitting in the front room, the living room, and I can see out towards the west. And obviously when the sun's setting, in the evenings, it just I mean, it's so weird. If you were actually sitting in the living room with me, it's funny because I look like I got shocked by some like electrical cord, because I jump out of the couch, because I'll just see fragments of the sky, and I mean I'm up. I go to the window and I'm looking out the window going, "Oh my gosh, oh my god," and I'm like, the excitement's building. I'm like, I gotta go outside, I gotta get the photo. And I'm like, where's my phone? Where's my and this is what my mind does. And so I'm truly just jumping around. So then I'm like calling out, because I'm like, because we have, cameras on the front of the house and the back of the house, and I'm going out. So that way it's always the alert of knowing that the cameras are going to go and notify all the phones and things. So I, I go out there and I start taking a bunch of photos and stuff, and then come back inside. But then I'm sitting on the couch just watching to see, if the winds are moving, is it going to shift? Is the color's going to change? And then I'm watching, and then I'll see it again and I'll jump back out. So there's a lot of that. So that a lot of that did help as far as, realizing. And again, one of the parts in the video of going back to where it made sense, stuff I've talked about before, is getting outside again. I did get a little bit in the beginning in June and stuff, that I was like, I'd get to work, stay inside, do what I needed to do, hide out at the desk, and then get in the car and come home, and then hide in here. Now, yes, I did get some photos and stuff in there, but that was so rare. I started to, and I see Carmen's asking what was the turning point. It was truly finally getting my butt back outside a little bit more, standing on the porch, but not necessarily holding my phone, and even if there wasn't anything, it was just cloudy or it was just sunny, but just standing there for a little bit, and uh just letting nature do what it's supposed to do for us. And it just made a whole lot more sense. And so I just spent a lot more time sticking my head outside more, um, because with having a lot of the background that I do have, nature's, it's my fuel, and when you get disconnected from it, you lose it. Now, again, not everything is resolved. Nothing, I mean, like I said, the money's still bad, but at the same time, I've come to terms with it, and I'm adapting to it. So, there's also that process too of just realizing it is what it is. I'm not going to make everything, and I'm okay with that. And so, little by little, because now I want to say, I think this makes the fifth week that I've been without. I think I've only had one small, like 15 or 20-minute, panic attack. And it was over something, I can't remember what it was now, because it was like, I think it was during the second week that I was doing fine. And it was so short. It was like, okay, cool. But I knew what it was. Like, I knew what the trigger was, and it was fine. It was small. But I can't remember now, because it's, again, that's like 4 weeks ago now. So I can't remember everything, because a lot of stuff did get a little blurry. But um and then just distractions. I know anybody that's dealing with mental situations and stressful stuff going on in their life, and it could be uh, stuff that's not even like mine, but distractions are huge. And yeah, it doesn't technically resolve them, however, it gets you through it. And I have done a lot, and there's been times where, uh, uh, I a couple things. I When I'm super tired, especially like, driving home from work, one of the fun things I do is, um, I, hey Chad, what's up, bud? Um, I will sit there and kind of knock two things out. One, because I'm real tired because sleep, is still issues. Hey Shendo. Um, I What I would do is, sing, you know, and that would keep me awake because, you're with your singing and you're really belting it out in the car ride. You then, but you're also distracting yourself. So even though I'm focusing on the road, but at the same time, I'm singing to my heart's content, and try to sing stuff that's, a little bit more my range, because there's other songs I'd love to sing, but God, it sounds horrible. It's that nail on, the chalkboard thing. So it's like, so um, I try not to do those too much, even though I like the songs a lot, but and the lyrics relate. Which is another interesting thing is that some of the stuff I do like or listen to, relate to a lot of the situations I've been through. Um, um, I have issues saying the word, when it comes to me. So I have a code word that, I use is, so I can't say the S word, and we're not talking the bad word. But if seen the teaser trailer, you saw some, moments of, those are kind of some of the things that, go through your mind, especially when you're not seeing relief. And so I always say bad thoughts. I'm having bad thoughts. That's my code word. And it usually means the S word. And so I still have trouble. I can't even say it now because it's just going to make me like stop for a moment. But bad thoughts, have crept in. And so that's why the images were there, is because it just, it's true. Now, was I really going to do anything? No. No. But they were there. And have to acknowledge the fact that they were there. Sucks, it sucks because it's not something you want to, deal with. And I never really had that stuff growing up. I never had those issues. And then, being an adult can be a little rough. And I think we all know that, right? We all have our, tough times and, stressful moments. And then sure enough, uh, it's just gotten to the point when you literally keep sinking deeper and deeper. And then there's just no sign. And, so many, people have always said, they're always here, that they're always willing to talk. And I get that. And until you are in a situation, you understand that that's not as easy as it sounds. And I hate to say that, but it is also truth. There's truth in the fact that it's very difficult to reach out when things are really horrible. Um, However, for me, uh, I tend to, throw some messages out there to people. And I'm not saying why I'm reaching out to them all the time, but what I do is that, I'll throw them out there, and it's really just to start a conversation. Even though I know what I need from it, but it's just to have a conversation, which is again back to what I just said. It's a distraction, gets my mind off of it. But when you're really bad, it's super hard to just be like, "Hey, how's it going?" It's just not, there's no energy there. And some people in this, live right now or watching it back another time, well, I think I probably would have been called out on it, "Are you sure you're okay?" Even in written, typed messages. You can tell, and I've seen that with others too. I've sent messages, or that I've received messages, and you can just see it even in the words. I mean, like chat, like even just looking at the words. I mean, you could just feel it out on somebody. So, um, yep, Dennis, it is true. Yep. Yeah, adulting is not fun. Yeah, Jen saying definitely sucks. I've been there. Imagine we all have going through our dark shadow underworld. Thankfully, as we said, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. It's initiation, but yeah. Yeah, and and it truly is. Hey, Heather, and I might repeat myself, of course, but yeah, the determination to succeed. is, was ever present. I knew it wasn't going to last forever, and I knew, it wasn't going to be the end for me. Um, I just needed time, and a lot of that, accumulated too. It's the fact that I just obviously from the other side, them looking down, being like, "You need a break, boy." So don't think it's dirty, right, Chad? Um, the fact of, I was doing a lot. I would continuing to do more, and I had so many more plans that I wanted to do this year. I was going to start another show during the week. It may not have been weekly, but it was definitely going to be at least bi-weekly, if not once a month. I wanted to do that, so that completely went down the tubes. Still out there, still something I want to do, and there's still some other fun little things that I wanted to do for humor wise. One of them would be a little bit more humor. The other one, just kind of something, another avenue of possibly some future work that I wanted to do for like some side coinage. Um, but there was just all these things that I kept trying to build up and put together, and it just didn't. It just was like, you're going way too much, way too fast, and we will knock you down, and you will stay down until you get the clear picture that you're just hold up, and so yeah, it's just it was unbelievable, but at the same time, I mean, I got it. And, and it took me a little bit. It took me like a month or so to realize after, just trying to fight with it to realize, hey, this is for a reason. It's yes, there is money issues suck, social anxiety sucked. And, you know, but all that made sense because I just needed to slim everything down, keep everything narrow, and not try to do like all these grand things. And it just not that I couldn't do it, it's just a fact that they're not the right timing for them. And I believe that now. And so, I've just shelved a bunch of things and I'm okay with that. And that's another thing. I came to terms with just realizing I'm just not going to be able to do everything. Hey, Michelle. And so and yeah, I just realizing that as much as I want to do more and more, and I want to do so much more for my, mediumship and things, and I just realized I you just can't. You just, you can only do so much, and in time, things will happen as they're supposed to. And that's where, I'm at. And so um, I did want to shift because I know we're getting out of time, so maybe I'll go a few minutes over. Even I like to try to give you guys, hey, Rich, what's happening, buddy? I like to try to give you some of your Saturdays back since I do this early, so that way you didn't really miss out on anything. So you can still go about your day. Other than Nikki, I mean, Nikki, she's in her late afternoon already, so we can all, you know, appreciate Nikki. She's in South Africa, so she's way ahead of us. So like for this is an afternoon show for her early evening. Yeah, Dad. Yep. Sometimes stepping back. Yep. But I did want to talk about some of the other positive things that did happen as a result of staying focused and staying determined to get over this. One thing that I think it was in July. I want to say July sometime, and I can't remember what part because there was a lot going on in July with my mom and stuff. But there was a point in July that I was I was getting up, going to work, and I kept having my left eye kept giving me vision issues. And I'm like, and sometimes, you get that when you wake up, you kind of get film over your eye and you're trying to, massage it to wipe that stuff out. And, you dry your eyes out, all that fun stuff. We all know that. And it just wouldn't go away. And it just kept being one of those things that was just throughout the day. And so I do wear contacts. I mean, I've talked about it before, but I wear contacts. And so I, you know, took one out. I gave it a clean, even put it through the cleaning, system, got it all cleaned up, put it right back in. And it was like, and it looked perfect. It looked beautiful. And I put it back in and it was just like, it's like this goopy, fuzz over it. I'm like, this is crazy. So I took it out. I threw it away, got out a new one, put that in there, and it was fuzzy. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. So this was, and I know it was on a weekend at one point, and because I remember this, and so I decided I'm just going to leave it out. I'm not going to leave it. I'm just going to take it out. I'm just going to let my eye rest all weekend, and just that's it. So I realized after a day or I think it was like, because I had a long weekend. I had a Friday and Monday off, so I had a 4-day weekend. And next thing I know, I think I did that Thursday night. By Saturday, I realized my vision changed. It wasn't that there was a film over my eye. It's the fact that my left eye went from, weak, needed corrective lenses, so to speak, to being perfect. And I started running around the house testing myself, closing my right eye and looking across the room and realizing I can read stuff with my left eye with no corrective lenses. And then I'm like, everything stops, and at this point, it was a weekend where it was just my son and I, because the rest of the fam was out, was gone all weekend, and I'm like looking everywhere, and I'm like, this is it? I mean, how do you go from always going a little bit weaker every time you go get checked up to now just shooting straight up and being perfect? I mean, and I'm like, that's wild. So I kind of just ran with it. And I didn't talk about it because I wanted to save this. I didn't share it with anybody. I think the only people I told was my parents and obviously my family. Um, but yeah, I mean, I sit there and do this, and like even now, like when I look across my desk and just see things, like normally, like I couldn't all the fun little things I have, or if I'm looking at the other side of the room, I'm like, I can see everything, and it's so wild. And so that was kind of a cool moment that I'm like, oh, hey, there's some positivity in here. Like this is great, and still didn't mean I was back, but it was just a nice glimmer of hope that gave me a chance to smile and realize it. And so still to this day, my left eye, no lenses, so it's still weird. And I'm kind of like, I wish my right eye would flip so I can just take that contact out or not wear glasses and I'll be great. Um, so that was a cool moment. It was really neat to have that kind of that thing happen. And I'll take it. I don't know what happened. I didn't do anything personally. I wasn't doing any self-healing or anything other than just trying to get myself mentally back, but ye whatever. Now, and it could obviously happen. I mean, I'm sure I still have not set an appointment to go really prove this stuff. I haven't been back to the eye doctor yet, and I should. I really need to, but just to see it, like, and ask, like, is that really possible? Like, it's one thing to bump back up, and get a little bit more, in focus, but to go completely like perfect, and I think I've had glasses since like second grade, first or second grade. So, that's a long time ago. But so that was cool. That was a neat little moment. A couple other things real quickly, because like I said, we're running out, but I did want to uh, by the way, in case anybody, here's a little astrological thing. I know some people have already posted about it, but we have a full moon, or the full blood moon today. So, be a little wary. We might have a few little iffy things, so just be mindful that if things seem a little off or there's things really great, it's because of the full moon. So, Jen, not that I can remember. I really don't. There wasn't anything like I wasn't trying to purposely like uh get it better on its own. I mean, I've always wanted, to do like now it's like I've always wanted to get the corrective surgery so that way I never have to worry about contacts or glasses ever again. And it literally was random. It was just dealing with it all week, and it was, I mean, I just started driving to work like on a Monday, and it just was bothering me, a couple days, and then finally I just like screw it, and I just took it out. And so, lunar eclipse. So yeah, see, that's pretty cool. Excuse me, but yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I really didn't intentionally set out or do anything that I can recollect. Um, so yeah. So you get the full blood moon today. A couple of things some of you may or may not have seen. I was gracious enough, and I don't. She has not in the chat right now, um, but my good friend Anne LaFave won a cameo for the a horror movie, indie horror movie that's going to be shot in January, February, one of the two, either or month. um and she wasn't going to be able to make it, but the first person she thought of was me. And that was just unbelievable because, I was watching the show that, because I was curious. I was like, maybe I'll know who it is. And it was her. And I'm like, that's so cool. And the movie's called Cruel Summer 3, and it's the final in a trilogy. And I posted about it. So, um, we're hurting on money, because they're trying to raise enough money so they can pay for things. And this is down and dirty, this isn't like over the top crazy stuff, they try to keep things within a budget. And now that things have raised up, they've had to increase the budget a little bit more. But it's like a 2 week shoot. And but the point is Anne won the cameo. Hey Jason, what's up? Say, there you go. There's one of the cast members. He's going to have a huge role in Cruel Summer 3. So Jason's a good friend of mine. And he's local. And but yeah, when they announced it, it was really cool. And then Anne, hit me up private. It's like, hey, I want you to have it. And so we squared it all away. And so sure enough, I got the nod for it. So that was pretty darn cool. So I was pretty excited to get that. So it was going to be neat to get out from behind the camera and then be in front. And so like even Jason and I, we helped out with Never Blink. Jason even had a little bit of acting in front of the camera for Never Blink, and that did really well. The previous last weekend at Scarefest, they won the horror film of the festival. So whoo, so we were pretty darn excited that Never Blink's off and running. So Christopher and Philip, man, it's great that has happened. And I'll never forget that because that was my first true film, and so helping out behind the scenes and things. And we had so much fun. And it was a lot of lot of stuff. I mean, 2 weeks and then some pickup shots for like another 3 or 4 days. And yeah, it was pretty cool. So I'm excited. And then this opportunity came up, and so I was yeah, one best feature film, right? Oh yeah, there's Christopher, there's my man. See, that's what I'm saying. I mean, huge congratulations to them and putting that film together and in winning. Like I said, that's awesome. And hopefully a lot more accolades, a lot more awards. And can't wait to see it from top to bottom for instead of seeing it like we did, which is still cool. Don't get me wrong, I love watching stuff. I mean, I've had a lot of theater experiences in my life. And so seeing stuff of how it's done, and then you get to see it on the screen, is just, it blows my mind. So I love it. And so definitely appreciated Christopher for all those opportunities for that. And so yeah, I mean, it's I can't, it's exciting to see all that hard work, all those weeks, and then you can finally get to see the results. So and then, like I said, now it's going to be pretty exciting to have a small little part in front of the camera for Cruel Summer 3. So I'm pretty stoked about that. So I can't wait to go down and hang out with the crew and cast for a few days and sneak in, get a couple lines in there, and that'll be fun. I mean, me, I like to have a little bit of fun and stuff. And so it's, couple lines, I'm down with that, so we'll see how it all plays out. So that was a pretty cool, exciting thing that happened too. And the reason why I'm saying this too is to show you that because I continued to fight for getting myself back on track, these things started stacking up. Yeah, I can't wait, Jason. But these things, it was neat because over the last month, these things started just popping up, and you're seeing one thing after another, and that starts to show you that you truly are bouncing back. You can, it doesn't mean that even if I didn't, receive that amazing, gesture from Anne to let me do this, that wasn't the point, but it was just how cool that was. Is this little things make go a long way. And I didn't ask her, I wasn't going to beg her. I mean, hell, I was congratulating her, and then the next day she's asking, do you want it? And I'm like, what? you know right, Rich? And so it was shocking, and at the same time it even it kind of choked me up a little bit too. It's just like, she didn't have to do that. She could have given it to anybody, and here she was, she gave it to me. And we spent a lot of time messaging back and forth on it, but it was such a great um, moment. And, for her to do that for me, I mean, sometimes you look at you know, I'm hard on myself, and I'm okay with being hard on myself, so it's like, well, what did I do, and just like, bringing the show back, it's like, a lot of people have, you know, been messaging and getting excited and stuff, and it's weird because you don't think about the bigger picture in a way. I'm just doing what I do, and I'm not trying to do anything crazy, and I'm just trying to provide something, whether it's just space, air, dead air, who knows? Um, but I just trying to do something nice, trying to be helpful. Like I said, I don't bring up, worldly things in on these posts and shows and stuff, but we all could use a few more smiles in our day, and we all could use a little bit more positivity. And again, even with what everything happened over the summer, and having to close up and just hide basically, you know it was temporary, and I knew at some point I'd get back, and so here I am. And so it's nice to finally feel like I've broken through. And a couple days ago, another friend, and I don't know if she's still watching, but I was truly my old self. Now, anybody that's ever hung out with me, and we didn't have something specific going on, and we were just having fun, I will can really start laying on the jokes pretty heavy. And obviously that's mostly my father's fault that I got from that some of that from him. So, but I, I'll lay it on. I mean, I can hit the jokes pretty good. And so I was going to town on another friend, was just joking with her so much. And that when I realized that too, that was me. That was the old me that, I'll turn it off. We got to be serious. We got to do this, no problem. But then when we have a moment to, lay our, put our hair down and stuff like that, I mean, I'll have the best of it. And so I'll just have fun. And I did. I mean, you push the envelope as far as you can go with it without being too bad. But I was pushing it, and so there was a lot of funny jokes going back and forth, and I was making her laugh in the messages back and forth. But again, that was me, and I even just this week it felt so real, and it felt so normal for me again. So I was excited. Couple more things before we run out of time. Next week. It is, Michelle. It is, joking is great. It is a distraction, and it really does help me because I do enjoy it. If I'm on my game, we have some fun. Uh, um, I mentioned earlier, life is a joke, right? Um, Next weekend, next Saturday, or I am sorry, 2 weeks. Jeez, oh Pete, I'm way out. So 2 weeks from now, the November 11th is the Old Mill Parafest. It is our 10th anniversary of Parafest. We got that rocking. Oh, hey, Rich, sorry, I didn't see that message. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. We got the November 11th is the Old Mill Parafest. You still can get tickets. You can go to oldmillparafest.com. And if you're on Facebook, you can go to the pages, Old Mill Parafest. You can go to Haunted Old Mill. You can go to our team page, SWPI, Spirit World Paranormal, and all those links will get you, to where you need to be. So still have tickets available. I believe they're $40 for the entire day. And then if you want to stick around for the VIP party, I don't remember how much the add-on for the party is, but the party is a party. We do have a lot of fun at that one too. So that's exciting. Looking forward to that. And just this week, I posted, but yeah, thanks, buddy. Thanks, Jason. No problem. Hey, it's okay. We got things going on, so we all fit it in there and stuff like that. Okay, Margaret saying with the VIP at 66. That makes sense. I usually don't handle that side of it. I'm the setup guy. I'm the MC guy. So I don't handle a lot of the business things. I mean, you help make some decisions, but I don't. I just try to stick to other. I try to stick to the stuff I enjoy a lot more. Not that the business isn't important, but yeah. This week our team knew for a couple weeks actually, and we had some unfortunate news, and at the same time it also, with it being unfortunate news, it turned into some positive news. And and I have no problem saying it, that a lot of us know Tim Woolworth. phenomenal person, phenomenal speaker, knows his thing, ITC communications, when it comes to paranormal and stuff. I mean, anytime I've ever listened to him speak or actually been at an event where he's doing ITC communications, it's really, really cool. And plus, Tim, was a fellow, or, as a fellow audio engineer. So we've always had some fun too of just shooting the breeze about, audio stuff. So that was always fun. Um, but unfortunately he had an accident, and this was a while back now. Unfortunately, due to a lot of the symptoms and conditions, it's been recommended that he doesn't get up in front of people, just because of symptoms that could lead to something pretty serious. So uh, Tim let us know that he had to step back, and was going to honor the considerations from his doctors, and so he said he couldn't do it. And at the same time, we were basically out of time, and especially money's like everything, money is an issue. So we didn't have a chance to obviously bring in anything else, and so I was willing to definitely jump in there. So I mean, threw my name into the local hat, and so it just worked out to where they decided I can do it, because one of the things I enjoy too is also just being able to just throw something together. Doing these shows, you really do. You bring the show together. Sometimes I don't always have a set topic. You guys have watched some of the ones over the years, because this is the 117th episode of Mid Morning Meeting Chat, which is pretty cool. And I sometimes I can just run with it. And so, even though I do have a presentation, I am working on it. I'm just trying to get I'm putting visuals together. That's the thing, is I already can talk, through my teeth on it, because it's going to be a good topic. However, I just trying to get some visuals so it doesn't always look like, you got to stare at this, hairy face. So, so, so I'll try to have some stuff up on the screens, for the presentation. So, but that was another thing that's the reason I'm going to finish with, is that, was another positive moment, even though it was sad, yeah, we're losing Tim Woolworth. At the same time, it was kind of a cool moment that, I could fill in, and I definitely, will make him proud to do that. And at the same time, it's another opportunity for me to get back up in front again. And I'm just continuing to walk those stairs up. And so that's what I want to keep doing, is to just taking my time, one step at a time. I'm not going to take, 2 steps or 3 steps. I'm just going to do one at a time. And the opportunities present themselves. And if it works out schedule wise and whatnot, I'm in. And so I'm really, really cool. I'm trying to keep yeah, you will, Michelle. Woo-hoo-hoo. Don't make me. But I think that's before I finish up, and I know at least some of you are still hanging out next weekend. So I want to continue to get the show, as back to routine as possible. However, anybody have any issues? I mean, granted, it's still on me anyway, but I just wanted to see if you guys would be fine. I can't do the Saturday show next week. However, I can do it Sunday. Would anybody have any issues? And I think that's the 4th, if I'm not mistaken. It is the 5th. So I cannot do the 4th. There's just too many things going on that literally in the morning. There's some major things going on. And I can't. And I don't want to sit there, and I didn't want to go right back to, I want some consistency again. At the same time, I stress myself out and put myself in a hole. And I didn't want to sit there and right away put a recorded show together, which I could do. I could record it and then just air it, and then sure, I just I wouldn't be able to show up in the chat until later on, so I would miss a lot of the conversations that you guys would all have. But I didn't want to do that right away. I think that will be a fallback at some point where I may need to do that, but I don't want to. So as long as nobody's got an issue. Oh yeah. See, Dad, Michelle, and Taylor are going to be doing a presentation at the Pear Fest. That's going to be pretty cool. I mean, they're good friends of mine already, so I already know what what to expect, but it's going to be awesome. Um, so yeah, so I'm going to do a Sunday show next week instead of Saturday. So same time, I'll still do that. So I won't change that. So that way it's still some consistency there. Yeah. Yeah. Margaret, good timing. I'll still do 9:30 just because it's easier and it wouldn't blow the rest, the whole day out. And then just shooting ahead again, I then couldn't do anything the following week because that is Parafest weekend. So we're setting up everything on Friday the 10th. The whole Parafest is the 11th. And then 12th is whatever things we didn't get torn down, we have to tear down, then Sunday morning. So there will be that weekend will be completely gone. But I will be back. I should be able to do the 18th. Worst case is the 19th. So again, that might be another thing, but I think I'm going to have no problem on the 18th. Hey, Shell. And then I probably will do, and again, just looking way ahead, I probably will do the 25th, which is Thanksgiving, just a couple days after Thanksgiving, but I'll probably do that one because at least it's a few. Hey, Jen, I'll probably do that as well. So next weekend I will shoot for the 5th, and then I will do we'll skip the following weekend because I'll be at Parafest. But maybe what I can do though is maybe I can shoot some video of it and maybe release a video of stuff. I don't know. We'll see. I don't want to do a whole lot, but maybe I can shoot some video or something like that and have some kind of thing. It wouldn't come out until maybe like that following Monday or something, but we'll see. I'll see. I got to think about that one. But again, so there'll be some Sundays in there. So I mean, as long as people don't have too many issues with that, it'll be fun to still try to keep the flow going. And obviously, I do want to watch myself. I don't want to sit there and be burnt out and stuff or put stress on myself. So I will do my best to keep it going. And yeah, we'll have some fun with it. And in the meantime, I haven't necessarily opened up all the doors yet to returning to sessions. So I know some people are looking forward to it again. I'm holding off. Oh yeah, one more thing before we go, because I know I've already 9 minutes passed. I do have a little surprise for you all. Not right now, but I'm going to share a surprise with you, but not right now. But yeah, I'm not fully back open to taking on clients just yet because again, I'm letting some of this stuff happen and I want to see how I feel like for the rest of today. I mean, I got a few more hours and then I'm going to be going to a birthday party tonight. So, I want to, I'm just feeling everything. I want to see how I feel after, a day or two and things. And then slowly in. So maybe, we'll see. I don't want to I don't want to put a timetable on it. I don't want to do that. So, however, here's one fun thing, and then I will let you guys all get going to your day. I'm off. I'm on vacation now through Wednesday. And I was joking with my coworkers that, I was taking Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off because I got to start burning vacation. So I have a lot this November. I'm going to be home a lot, which is great. So, with it, like last year, I had, I did the same thing. I had a few days off. And so I took some time to just be around. So, what was this? I could always take over for you and say, yeah, right. Yeah. You guys wouldn't want that, would you? You want my dad sitting here doing a show? Jeez, big comedy hour. It'd be a sitcom or something. I got to pick on him. So, so what I was thinking is this is a surprise and it's not going to be too much on me, which is the reason why I'm going to do this. I am going to, as long as everything is okay, and I won't post it until probably Tuesday, Halloween. Yeah. Yeah, Tuesday's Halloween. I will jump on Tuesday night, probably 8 or sometime after 8. You do know. I will jump on and I'll get my Halloween Oracle deck out and we'll do like what I did last year. I'll do some readings for if anybody is around. Yeah, I see that. I will we'll do some I'll just pull some cards for people. I mean, I haven't done it in a while and it's not a lot of energy on me to do that. I mean, there's some, but it's not as intense as doing like a mediumship or healing. So I'm thinking of doing that. So hopefully that'll be pretty cool. Another one, Jenny. Yeah, you probably are, Chad. So I So yeah, so if that excites you and you want to pop in, like I said, I will post that show probably on Halloween some point, just to see what else is going on to make sure. Because I know we're gonna take my son out, but he won't make it that long, so we'll definitely go for like an hour, and then he'll probably want to come home anyway. So so I'm thinking maybe 8-ish, and then we'll jump on and I'll do, get my Halloween deck out and we'll pull some cards for people that are wanting a card on Halloween. It doesn't get any spookier than that. And yeah, that'll be fun. And I think it'll be fun for me too. And it'd just be another way to get to interact with everybody again. And again, it won't be as much uh pressure on me. It's just like, hey, it's just the cards, and they're meant for you. And so yeah, so let's do that. We'll set that up, and yeah, we'll have some fun on Halloween. And again, so i I know people have come and gone, and those that are left, thank you so much for hanging in there. Thank you so much for um believing in me and knowing that I would make it back. And it feels really good to be back again. And I'm excited to start chatting again, start talking, and just getting back to where things were, and enjoying my time with everybody. And so I'm looking forward to seeing some of you. Maybe you guys will make it to the Old Mill Pear Fest, and if not, I'll be right here, on the Mid Morning Medium chat. And so yeah. Yeah, yeah, Dennis, we'll chat, buddy. Like I said, I'm just everything's slow. Everything's slow. We're just gonna keep working our way back up. So, but thank you. Yeah, again, thank you all. It's really been a lot of fun uh, to just finally get back to where I am. And fun is a weird way to put it, but it's I hate to say struggle, which it was too, but at the same time, you know you see that stuff in the end, that where now you feel as normal as you can be. Not that we're ever normal anyway. So, but love you, Rich. But yeah, so thank you for the support, and I'm glad to finally make it back on here. And like I said, let's keep it going. Let's keep the positive vibes out for everybody. And, let's just do this. Let's just do this. So, cool. uh as always, I'm going to try to get back to somewhat of some a little bit more frequent post, whether it's just words or if I get some cool images to share, I'll do that. And yeah, keep looking for those. Again, I have the ability to start posting some of these shows further out, so I might start doing that, where they'll be on the schedule a little bit more, and they won't be so last minute. So just little things I'm going to try to tweak and do for everybody. So, yep. Thank you all so much. I'm going to get out of here, go chill for a little bit, and then going to go have a party, which I'll see my dad later. So I'm sure he'll be picking on me later for, for whatever. Tanya, hey, Tanya, thank you. So yeah, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks, Sharon. Yeah, it's great to be back. And yeah, we'll see you soon. So you guys have been watching the Mid Morning Medium Chat with Adam the Black Swamp Medium. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you guys hopefully in a few days. And with that being said, I want to wish you all the best. Have a great weekend. As I tap the mic, all my love, light, and peace to each and every single one of you. Take care.